Welcome to the Bucs Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 18 Vegas spread picks. Firstly, Happy New Year. It's been a tremendous year, and I think everyone watching this show has made money. So I've done my job, and you've done your job. Also, I'm recording this Tuesday mornings. We don't know who's playing starters exactly. I know the scenarios. I'm going to give them to you. Let's get to the first game. We're going to Saturday. We're going to Baltimore. We got the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Browns plus 17.5. Ravens winning the cover. And it's simple. You say DTR, I say bet the other side. I've been saying that the last 2 weeks. Okay, next game. No, there's a lot to unpack in this game. Firstly, we don't know who's going to start for the Cleveland Browns. If it's Jameis Winston, obviously we cancel this. But from what I was reading, it's going to be DTR or Zappy. I think either way, this Ravens minus 17.5 is in play. I'm looking at the Browns, and we can focus on DTR and the quarterback situation, but they can't block anyone. They're not run blocking well. They're not pass blocking. And I think this defense is just out of fight. Ravens need to win this game to get to that 3 seed. And I think they do it. I guess it just comes down to how much do the Ravens accelerate? How much do they want to get to this? Like, I think when the first half ends, they'll be up like 21, 24 points. It just comes down to what happens in the second half, but it's week 18 vibes. We know how it goes, but I know the D-Gens are putting their hands together. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals minus 1.5. Money. Bengals winning the cover. I hate doing this. Now, listen, obviously the Steelers aren't going to get this AFC North because there's no way the Ravens lose against the Browns. If that happens, the YouTube channel's getting deleted, okay? Secondly, if I had this matchup again and I knew the Steelers needed to win the game, I would go the Bengals. And we almost got bitten in that Bengals minus 3 last week. And I still would do it because this is an offense league at this point. And when you don't have an elite defense and you have a top 5 offense, you go with the offense. And I think Joe Burrow's been an absolute juggernaut this year. And I do wonder how much are the Steelers going to prepare for this game. I think Tomlin's going to play the starters quite a bit. I think he's going to play them 2 or 3 quarters. Like I said, we haven't seen any hints. But either way, I feel like the Steelers' defense is vulnerable, and we saw the vulnerabilities of Russell America Wilson last week. Obviously, you don't like betting it. You don't like betting on this Bengals offensive line against the fierce, nasty, and gritty Steelers pass rush. You don't like it. But I'm going with the better quarterback. I'm going with the better offense, and I don't think the Bengals are going to go out on a low light. Are you going to sweat? Are you going to see things that make you want to tear your hair out? Yes, that's what it's like betting the Bengals in 2024. They are a Mickey Mouse organization. I still think they have really good players, and I still think they really want to win this game. Steelers at a little bit of a low point with nothing to play for except pride. Give me the Bengals to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, and I'm mixing these up because I'm trying to keep the intrigue. Some of these games have no intrigue. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons minus 8.5. This is a teaser option. I absolutely love it. Falcons winning the cover. And yes, their hopes are slim. There's no way the Saints are going to beat the Bucs. But let's talk about the X's and O's that's going to happen on that battlefield. Penix has shown some signs. He can throw it. We did see a little bit of just bad accuracy against the Commanders, but that's what we expected. But the main component, the main ingredient we're looking for in this game is the Panthers are the worst run defense in the league. I think the Falcons are the best at their best when they're running it. They're going to pound it. They're going to run for over 200 yards. Falcons win in a cover. Like, listen, I don't think the Panthers are going to give up here. Like, I don't think this is going to be a lay down Bahamas, Aruba type situation. But I feel like the Panthers has proven all they needed to do this year, and they will go out easy in the second half. Falcons -8.5, winning the cover. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags at the Indianapolis Colts. Jags +5. Money, money, money. Borderline. D-Jones, where are you at? D-Jones. D-Jones, come on. D-Jones, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. This is your moment. Jags cover is the money pick, but I think the Jags win the game. And listen, I had the Giants last week, but I also had the Jets, so I'm not beating my chest. Man, I don't think this Jags last 7 and 8 weeks has been as bad as you guys think. And I know watching Matt Jones is a little bit of a chore, but he's actually been kind of decent, like I said last week. And you're going to get Flacco or you're going to get Richardson, but you're also going to get a Colts team that is disorganized, that isn't all that talented, that really shouldn't be laying 5.5, 7 points against anyone. They just shouldn't. And I do think this is going to work down the 4.5, 4, but the point still stands. And I don't want to go too long on this game because the reason why I spent a lot of times on the Jags-Titans last week was because I'm absolutely disgusted with Callahan and how he's getting a free pass as Titans coach. But you look at Pat McAfee's criticism of the Colts, and it's spot on. And this team just doesn't have the professionalism or fight to do this. And one thing the Jags do well on defense, maybe the only thing, is they're pretty good in their run fits. They're pretty good at stopping the run. The only thing the Colts can do as a team defensively or offensively is run the ball. And I think the Jags throw the ball better this game. I think the Jags have the better wide receivers. And I think the Jags locker room is just in a better vibe and move. The money pick, the borderline money pick, please do not put your life savings on this. Jags +5 is the money pick. Next game, we're going to the NFC South. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Bucs. Bucs +13.5. This game is absolute cancer because if there's one team in this league, if you give me a list of 5 teams I feel comfortable laying large double-digit points with against bad opposition, the Bucs would probably be in that 5. So I'm going to go Bucs to win in the cover. The Saints have shown good fight this year. I wasn't surprised to see them lose to the Raiders. But the big issue here, man, is Bucs need to win the game. And the Bucs, they're going to tear up this Saints secondary. The Saints don't have a pass rush. The Saints can't cover anyone. Bucs -13.5. If you bet this, you got to call that number, guys. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. Bills -3. This is so tough. I'm going to go Pats winning the cover. Like, we're talking about first picks, tanking. Listen, this might be a game where you see a team tank, but I'm going the Bills to win in the cover. I'm going the Patriots to win in the cover. I mean, man, this is really a coin flip. I mean, we're hearing Drake May might be benched, and Josh Allen's going to go out there and play a few snaps. But come on, let's be realistic. How much of the Bills starters are we going to see in this game? Like, I know he wants to keep that start streak, but I'm going Patriots to win in the cover. There is no science. And once again, if you bet this game, you need to call that number. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Packers -9. Can I take my Caleb Williams victory lap, or could I have done that by like week 6? I really deserve my Caleb Williams victory lap. He's going to start, but I got the Packers to win in the cover. And to be completely honest, man, I've been lower on the Packers than a lot of people this year. But I'm really, really low on the Bears, and I know that's easy, but this is a team without heart, without fight, without a quarterback, without leadership. And I know we're going to get this stuff with like Caleb's got Thomas Brown and Eberflus. That's why he stinks. Yes, it's never been a functioning franchise, but there are serious issues with Caleb Williams. And honestly, if they threw Badger out there, I would go Bears to cover. But I'm going Packers to win in the cover because, firstly, their team is better. The Bears can't stop the run. The Bears can't throw the ball, and that's the big weakness with Green Bay's defense. They don't have a great pass rush, and they can't cover anyone, but who the hell's Caleb Williams going to throw to? And he's got dogs at wide receiver, but it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Give me the Packers -9, winning the cover, and honestly, like, if you put money on this, I would not smug my nose. And when we talk about this Commanders game next, like, there is a big carrot on the proverbial stick. Does anyone want to go to Philadelphia and play the Eagles? The Packers need a win to be able to avoid that. Next game, we got the Washington No-Names, Jaden, at the Dallas Cowboys. Commanders -4. Money. Money. Commanders winning the cover, making a money pick. Guys, I think we can all agree I've been pretty damn good at reading this board since week 7, week 8. I've made money getting against the Cowboys, but you saw how that unraveled. So I'm reading the board really well. I'm not reading the Cowboys great, so I obviously don't like doing this. But I got to go Commanders to win in the cover. I started this Commanders bandwagon. I know the stats guys love the Commanders, but I like them for other reasons. Firstly, I feel like this team, this locker room has some of the best vibes in the league. And I know Dallas has fought hard. They've been professional and competitive to finish out this season. But I don't know, man. There's just something about this team that I don't vibe with. I don't see the toughness. And one thing you can say about the Commanders is they got a guy with poise at quarterback, and they're going to run the ball on you. They were really tricked and fooled schematically on offense that first game against the Cowboys. I just don't think the Cowboys have the fight to put their foot down. And just to reiterate, man, you really want to avoid the Eagles. Like, if I'm the Commanders and I go on the road and play the Rams, just an example, a hypothetical scenario that will probably take place. I like my chances. If I'm going to Philadelphia with the Commanders' run defense, I don't like their chances. I think the Commanders stop Dowdle here. I think their defense is improving, and I know that's kind of like a crazy take, but I think the Commanders' defense is the difference in this game. Commanders -4, make it a damn money pick. I'm excited for this game, man, because I don't think the Cowboys are going to go easy. Like, I wish I knew the Cowboys were going to just come out and lay down, but I can't say that with any certainty. I just know the Cowboys are a pretty bad team with some good players on defense. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Texans -1. Texans winning the cover. Now, I went on Callahan last week, but I need to get this across. This isn't a hot take show, but, you know, it's easy to throw mud at Gerard Mayo. It's easy to throw mud at Antonio Pierce, but does anyone throw mud at Callahan? Like, he's been a disaster this year. So let's get to this game, and let's talk about what D'Amico Ryans said. He was ashamed of that performance against the Ravens. Yeah, we won money, but that was shameful. That was absolutely shameful, and all the focus is going to be hyper-focused, microscopic on Stroud, but that was a bad performance top to bottom on that roster. I know Houston, they don't need the game, but they need rhythm. They need confidence. They need to do something. They need to right this ship. And I think the Texans come into this game serious and businesslike. And you also look at a Titans team, okay, people can say the excuse, oh, they're tanking. They're tanking, bro. Man, I'm not so sure about that. I just think they're this bad and poorly coached, and I think the Texans win this game, and I want to bet it. It's just the Texans do have the playoffs. Like, they could be up 21-10 and just completely take the foot off the gas pedal. I mean, Callahan saying Rudolph and Will Levis are both going to play. I don't know what that means. I just know it means, like, not great football. Give me the Texans to win in the cover. Also, defensively, this Texans defensive line better get to work. This Titans offensive line hasn't blocked anyone all year. And also, another thing about, like, I'm not trying to defend Antonio Pierce. Like, some of his in-game decisions are puzzling, but his guys go out. They ride for him. They fight. I don't see that fight. But also, when you talk about Callahan, he got the job as like an offensive line guy because his daddy was. And the offensive line only got worse this year. He was an offensive coordinator. He never called a fucking play in his life. I'm just saying, man, I got to ride with Antonio Pierce. Callahan needs to go, man. Next game, we got the New York Giants. Get them out of there. At the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants +3. I think the Giants win the game. I was feeling spicy about the Giants last week. Man, the Eagles don't need this. I have very little to say about this game. Give me the Giants +3 winning the cover. If you watch this, I'll watch it in the offseason just for fun. But if you watch this, like, come on, man, go take a walk with your girl. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. Game of the week, game of the year. Vikings +2.5. Money, money, money. Money. Let's go. Vikings winning the cover. This game's for the number 1 seed. And can we be realistic? And I don't mean to be melodramatic. Any team can win anywhere, any locale against any team in the playoffs. That's what makes the NFL great. But could you realistically see this Lions defense winning a game on the road? Can you realistically see Sam Darnold's team going on the road and running the table and getting to the Super Bowl? I can't see it for either team. And this Lions defense is why I'm going Vikings to win in a cover. They fought valiantly. They fought hard. But the 49ers have barely done anything on offense the last 5 weeks. And then we see Brock Purdy whipping work all up and down the field on them. And it's really, really concerning. And Aiden Hutchinson isn't walking through that door. The 8-9 defensive starters on injured reserve are not walking through that door. And you got Branch, you got Joseph, but I just feel like this Vikings offense has really good matchups against the Lions. The Lions have been so valiant, so courageous stopping the run this year. That's why they're able to lock in man-to-man and completely just suffocate opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers. I'm not sure they can do that, man. And I'm not sure Aaron Glenn has the dogs to be able to put his plan in place. Like, if this Detroit defense was even marginally healthy, obviously it would be Lions, and this spread would be a lot different. I think it would be like, if the defense is marginally healthy, I think it'd be like -4.5 Lions. And on the other side, you have a Lions offense that is the best in the league. I would say the Ravens, but let's be honest. Top to bottom, play by play, and if you factor in the offensive coordinator who's a genius, this Lions offense has been the best. But you have to play defense in this league, and I felt like that was one thing people slept on last week about the Vikings-Packers game. The Vikings defense, when you have Brian Flores, that's the type of mind, that's the type of character you need to go up against Ben Johnson, who's one of the best offensive coordinators I've ever seen. So when you're in this situation, both teams are going to put up points, but who's going to get more stops? Who's going to force more turnovers? Do we trust Goff as much as we trust Darnold? Obviously, you probably would trust Goff more at home. But don't you feel like that takes out the Sam Darnold disadvantage? And like I've been saying all year, and the deciding factor in that Vikings pick against the Packers last week, and the player prop bros know this. I let them know every week. Sam Darnold is a bottom 5-6 quarterback when he's under pressure. When he's not under pressure, he's been a top 5 quarterback. I'm just not sure Detroit gets the pressure they need, and I think the Vikings hit Goff more, and you obviously would take Goff in this situation as a better quarterback than Darnold, but I think Darnold's got the better dogs, even though Jameson Williams is emerging and we're seeing a little bit more of Laporta. Give me the Vikings to win in the cover and get the number 1 seed. Great Sunday night game. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Jets +1. My cat's messing with the camera. I record live here, so I don't do the cuts and I don't write stuff down. I just write down the games. And I'm going Jets to win in the cover. I mean, we're going to get Snoop. We're going to get Huntley. We're not going to see Tua. And this is the type of game the Jets win, and I'm sorry for that pick last week, guys. But the first half kind of unfoiled how I wanted it to. I got the Jets to win in a cover. I just don't have a lot to say about this game because, like I said, I've been reading the board really well this year. The Jets and Cowboys have been elusive. Jets win in the cover. Just don't bet this. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams +3. The market's saying the Rams are going to rest starters, right? That's what the market's saying with the Rams being at home and resting starters. I would question them, even if they were going starters and going -3 in this game. But I'm going to go Rams to win in the cover +3. I think they drastically need a performance. I think they're in a similar situation to the Texans. Now, I know the Texans can't improve their seeding, but the Rams certainly can. And if they lose this game, I think they get the fucking Lions or Vikings. And I know they look better against the Lions than most. They didn't clobber the Vikings, but they looked very good in that game. But if you're a Rams fan, you have to be concerned about the offense. You have to be concerned about the wraps. And I think the Seahawks are going to go full bore in this game. I got the Rams to win in the cover. I just think this is a murky situation. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. Cards -3. Cardinals winning the cover. I want to make it a money pick. Credit to Purdy last night. Credit to every single player on that 49ers roster last night. That game was an absolute gift. But I do feel like it's time to throw in the towel. Like Mick throws in the towel for Rocky. Was that his name? I do feel like that's where we're at in this. And I don't think James Conner's going to play. But I still feel like the Cardinals are going to be able to run it on them. And I think the Cardinals have better offense in this game. I also don't think this Cardinals team is quitting. And the Rams were kind of lucky to beat the Cardinals last week. And this Rams defense last week, we got to give them credit against the Cardinals. But I do think the Cardinals have a way better matchup this game. And the 49ers defense has just been terrible the whole year. They've been banged up the whole year. I'm just going with the healthier team. I kind of want to make this a D-gem play, but I just can't get there out of respect for you guys. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders +5.5. Everyone's saying the Chargers might have a chance to improve their seeding. Whether they do, whether they don't, I know that's something to deal with Saturday. It was one of the more esoteric situations. But I just think the Raiders cover the game and Chargers win. And I don't want to glaze Aiden O'Connell, but he's been, I'm not going to say phenomenal, but he's been more than serviceable these last 4 weeks. I like the way he plays the game. I like the way he leads men. I hope he gets an opportunity next year to start some games and we start whittling people out of this league like Gardner Minshew, who approach games like it's a fucking joke and prank and like he's Uncle Rico. I think the Raiders keep it close. They're not quitting as much as you guys don't like that. Chargers win the game. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video. It's been a fun year. Thank you guys for helping out with the algorithm. It's been phenomenal, man. And normally the views tail off as the year goes on. Normal, right? Teams are eliminated. People want to look at their teams, but the views keep going up. You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you, guys. It's been a great year. We aren't stopping going into the playoffs. Be safe tonight. Same thing with these bets. Like, it's okay to have a little bit of fun. It's okay to get a little bit wild, but just remember, this is week 18.